Thank you, Richard. Candidate, as you well know, our country is very divided politically. Some call it tribal, two sides, no middle. We see it in vicious political campaign ads. We saw it in the Kavanaugh hearings. We see it here. Congressman, your opponents say you will never oppose Donald Trump on anything. Governor, your opponents say you'll never oppose Chuck Schumer on anything. Voters don't like it. Nothing gets done. Why do you believe this has become the atmosphere during this election cycle, and how do you change it? Governor?
It has become the standard, and I'm very sad to see that. We have in our country, especially when we've dealt with the big things, just done them on a bipartisan basis. Social Security was bipartisan, Medicare was bipartisan, the Civil Rights Act was bipartisan. I think we need to get back to that, especially in dealing with some of these big issues. We've been talking up here about immigration just before this. It is a huge issue which has been developing for 30 or 40 years in this country. There are 10 or 11 million undocumented immigrants in our country that we're obviously not going to all send away. I think we got to stop making this into a tribal issue where you're setting Democrats against Republicans and settle down and use that spirit of bipartisanship to try to find some solution to it. This is a big issue we are going to have to tackle as this country in the course of the next few years.
Thank you, Governor. Congressman, why do you think we are where we are politically?
It is something that is of concern to all of us. And of course, I think when you look at the Senate and the brokenness of the Senate not getting things done, it is a concern. I've been recognized as a bipartisan leader in Congress for getting things done, pushing forward ideas that have bipartisan support. Now, we know Phil wanted Hillary to be president. She called us all deplorables. He gave her $33,400. Yesterday, she said, you can't be civil with the party that opposes your ideas. You had former AG holders say when they're down, kick them. You had one of our colleagues at a prayer breakfast for Phil say, he wished Marsha would go jump off the bridge. And this is the kind of rhetoric that is not helpful. It is important to keep campaigns focused on issues, to focus on things that people have done while they are in office, and then to draw that contrast.
Thank you. Congressman, Governor, your rebuttal.
The way in which we're going to find some way beyond this tribalism, I think, is going to be to find at least a few issues to start working on together where there's some possibility of finding common ground. One I would mention that seems to me obvious is DACA, where vast majorities of Americans want that problem solved, these young people who are here through no fault of their own. I'd love to see both parties get out of this business of trying to attach things to that and make it into a tribal issue.
Thank you, Governor. Congressman?
Yes, I think that finding a way forward is about leadership. And this is a great opportunity to show how to lead and work together. That is something that I have a solid record of doing, whether it is in telecommunications policy, whether it is working on issues such as DACA. The only bill that's passed in the House is my legislation. It has passed twice. But we know.
Thank you, Congressman. Thank you both.